Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of Micah's Mentions. Today I'm going to be talking about the movie Studio 666, which I had the honor of seeing last night prior to it releasing fully in the States. I just want to go ahead and state that I'm not the biggest Foo Fighters fan. I love some of their songs that have been on the radio before. And oh, in case you didn't know, Studio 666 stars the Foo Fighters and is a story idea made by Dave Grohl. Um, it's very interesting that this movie even exists. I made a joke the second that I left the theater saying that this was the most expensive music video I've ever seen. And it's not exactly a music video, I was just making a joke about it. Um, and I just gotta say that this is the kind of movie that is camp incarnate. This is the kind of movie that if you love those kind of goofy slashers from the 80s with kind of questionable acting, story choices that don't fully make sense, and it's just there to have fun. That's what Studio 666 is. So what I think is the best part about this movie is that it just fully embraces its ridiculous premise. This movie is about a band, the Foo Fighters, renting a house in Encino, California, that has a dark and twisted past where another rock legend group has tragically passed away prior to a majority of the story ever happening. And so we got this band, the Foo Fighters, coming in, and they're trying to work on their 10th studio album. They want to do a concept album. And so they take this house because it has the sound that they deem the sound of their 10th. And from there, we just get a whole bunch of just over the top supernatural scares that you're expecting to see. It's a haunting story, a possession story, it's demonic. It is a comedy horror supernatural slasher satanic panic movie, and we have the pleasure of being able to see that in theaters. What a world we live in. So, I think the best things about this movie are the fact that A, it has the audacity to exist. B, its special effects are unparalleled. Mostly because I don't think I've seen anything recently that uses over the top gore in a way just to be funny. Except for one kill that was a little actually wince inducing. I felt like the rest of the movie did a good job in maintaining this casual kind of aura to it, despite it being a official movie. And I just gotta say, despite a good portion of the performances not being the strongest that I've ever seen on a screen, I thoroughly enjoyed um, performances by Dave Grohl specifically. I also really liked some of the other band members. They did a pretty good job despite not really having much acting chops before or any much experience. The writing, I mean, it's just kind of meant to be funny. Like a majority of the writing is kind of corny, it's very cheesy, it's over the top, it's very expected. I'm going to say over the top a lot because that's what this movie is. Everything about it is over the top, from the acting to some of the musical score to literally cameos that I don't want to spoil anything, but there are certain bits where I was like, wait, I know that guy. Um, this movie is exactly in love with the horror genre. Like, you can tell that this picture has great respect for the genre and it loves to go in on the cheese factor. It's a lot of fun. It's decently paced. It's a little slow in the beginning, but as soon as we get to the house, like all set up and such, it starts to get going a bit. And from there, it becomes a bit more interesting. And at that point, it's all of a question of how is this going to end? And I can assure you, it's not going to go how you're expecting. Um, So I just want to also shout out to the cinematography at the final chase scene. It was very energetic and a lot of fun. Like, if there's any one thing that I was hoping for with this movie is that it'd be fun. And it was honestly laugh out loud hilarious. There were plenty of moments where I just found myself cackling at some of the jokes being done. Even some of the like deaths, gruesome as they may be, were just over the top. There it is again. Over the top and hilarious that I just couldn't help myself but laugh. So if you're looking for something that's more so just unwinding, laughing at it, having a good time, joking, and not taking it seriously, because this movie is self-aware in its concept, it's self-aware on what it's trying to do. So it never tries to be anything more than a B movie. If that sounds like your cup of tea, if you're looking for a horror movie that doesn't take itself seriously, and you yourself want a movie that doesn't take itself seriously, I strongly recommend you find a theater that's playing Studio 666. It is now playing nationwide, and honestly, it sounds great. Like, if you're a big rock head, or whatever, if you really like rock music and you enjoy the Foo Fighters, then you'll probably have a great time with this movie. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will give it a strong recommendation just for those that want to have that kind of time. That's not to say I didn't have any problems with it, but I also didn't go into it expecting to fully critique it and analyze it. I went in to have a good time, and this movie delivered on a good time. I didn't expect it to, have a bigger message or anything. It does include a bit of a message in there about, like, uh, rock and roll legends and such, and like managers and how Hollywood kind of is. And it's very interesting in that regard. And I like that they decided to have that, but it's kind of subtle, and it's very much one of those additional jokes about rock and roll music that you probably heard before. It's it's just a really fun time. And again, if you can find a theater that's playing it, I strongly recommend it. All right, that's it for this review. Thanks for coming in. Have a great time. Bye.